few weeks ago, I started sculpting Caine from the amazing digital circus in Nomad Sculpt. I turned the process into a 5-part short series, but those shorts didn't really explain everything that went into making the model. And that's why I made this video. I chose Caine because I've never really made fan art of him before. I started off with the top row of teeth. At first things were going pretty well, but unfortunately I added an extra layer of gums because I felt that the teeth was sticking out too much. Then I tried smoothing everything out, which somehow made the whole thing messier. But I didn't give up yet. I continued with the back teeth, which also came out a little wonky, but then I just went ahead and colored everything and cloned it. Then I adjusted the lower jaw and even made the fangs gold. After that I moved to the eyes. I painted them and added a single metallic red pixel. For the tongue, I started with a simple cylinder, flattened it, shaped it, and tried adding texture, but unfortunately it was way too low poly. I still positioned it inside the mouth and then remembered to make the veins for the eyes. And then I wanted to call it complete, but the devil reminded me that he has a top hat. Then, using this tool, I drew the hat, painted it, and made some adjustments. I wanted him to look a little fancier, so I decided to add a feather. As I mentioned in the third sculpting shot, this feather took way too long to make. Also, I made bubble. At this point, I honestly wanted to stop. This is because I cannot export the file since I don't have the premium version. One day, when this tab is gone, this model and all the other models will be gone. So obviously I didn't want to spend too much of time on it, but the devil on my shoulder was like, "Come on man, do more." So I kept going. I started with the body, but while painting it, I realized it became way too pixelated. Then I moved on to the bow tie. Now in the shots, I never showed this, but my first attempt looked bad. On second attempt, I tried using the same method again, but eventually I switched to the brush tool, which made it look a lot better. I placed it on the model and once again thought, okay, now I'm done. The devil disagreed again. So I decided to give him arms. I used the tube tool to create them and originally tried to make fingers from the same tube. But that didn't work. Eventually, I split the arm into separate sections, fixed the elbows, and rebuilt the fingers using the same tube tool. Because of the way I made them, they still have visible folds and don't look great from every angle. But after enough adjustments, they looked decent from the front. Then I cloned everything for the other side. And finally, I flattened the spear, cloned it, and turned them into the sun and the moon. After that, I added folds on the outfit, made a bunch of small adjustments, set up some lighting, and finally called the model complete. And yes, this time I listened to my angel. Looking back, I think it turned out pretty well for a beginner. My favorite part was definitely the teeth, and the most annoying parts were also the teeth, and fingers, and feather. But overall, I think it was really fun to make. Let me know what you think about the final result. And thanks for watching.